So as far as the Patriot movement, and that's what LWN is, we are part of many patriots out there searching for the truth and delivering the news like it should be delivered. All right, we are back. We're live, LWN, and I have a very beautiful and special guest with us. This is the one, the only Amanda Grace. How are you doing this afternoon?
Wonderful. How are you? Hello to everyone.
we got live chat going right now,
Yep.
and you guys can go ahead and say hello to Amanda Grace. There's Deborah Shimko. She actually lives just a couple hours from us here. Chase, Carlene, we got Amanda Grace here. So you just told me that you pretty much go to every one of these Reawakened tours. What is the best thing about the Reawakened tour?
Oh my goodness. There's so many, but the presence of the Lord does move here.
Absolutely.
And that's so important because we're bringing people into the Lord. They're hearing truth, but they're also coming to know the Lord and Jesus Christ. So that's one of the most important things that goes on here. We also do the prayer and baptisms, which is so important too.
I heard you baptize people.
Yeah,
yes.
Dave baptizes and I pray, and we have others that also help with that. And so many people are hungry. They need prayer. They need to get delivered and set free. And Jesus went into the towns and squares and did it. And so we're called to do it. So
that is so amazing. And, this is a God movement. Mm-hmm. So the LWN, which is Liberty Warrior Nation, we're God first, we're family first, we're country first, and we're also America first. And Trump is a warrior for God. I call Trump God's new David. And, all of us are so excited about what I call God's hand across America, which we're looking for. And I've heard you say it, and I've heard, other prophets say it, 1 billion soul harvest. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, that would be wonderful. We could get to that point because there's many in the world that are lost. There's areas of the world that the gospel still hasn't reached yet, believe it or not. I think about 85% of the world, the gospel has reached. So we're getting there, we're getting to 100% there. But there's so many people in other countries too that are hurting and broken under oppressive leadership that really need the Lord. And so it would be wonderful if we could just continue to harvest and bring souls into the kingdom.
I do a daily devotion Monday through Thursday. I'm not a preacher. I'm not a pastor. I'm not a prophet. I'm just a guy, out here trying to do God's work. But just uniting the country in a simple devotion Monday through Thursday. And then at the end of the show, I take prayer requests and I pray over people. And we just give it over to God. I personally have given this country over to God. I've given Trump over to God because, it is God who is laying the path before you and before me, before Trump. We are going to get this country back, and we are going to make, and I saw a funny saying yesterday, we're going to make America great again.
Well, what's interesting, the Jews had to fight for the promised land. They had to fight for it. They were slaves, and then they got free, and then they had to fight for it. And we're in that process. We have to fight for it. So we know how precious it is once we get it and don't allow to happen what happened. So the Lord allows some of this for that reason. So we understand what happened and to preserve better and to be bolder with him and going forth in what he wants us to do. So this nation is directed by the Lord and the leadership as well.
Amen. And you hit on a very good point there. Everybody says, well, why is this happening?
Yep.
And why didn't January of 2021 things change? I feel that God had to allow this to happen so that, one, we could uncover the corruption in this country and see it firsthand. And it's still unfolding. I mean, just look at what happened to Mike Lindell a week ago with the FBI. Look at the Biden administration weaponizing the FBI, the IRS, and other agencies within the government to attack conservatives, to attack the patriot movement, to attack Christians. That's a big deal. And we would have never seen that if Trump, and I don't want to say he lost because he didn't lose. But if Trump would have came back in the office 8 straight years, if anything would have happened January of 2021, we would have never seen any of this stuff, Amanda.
We wouldn't have. And people have to understand, too, what happened in the first term, the Lord has plans for the next term. And he's got to be in a certain place spiritually, President Trump.
Amen.
He's got to be in a certain place of surrender to the Lord, which is difficult for somebody of his caliber to understand. But the Lord is taking him through this process too, and pruning and whittling down and refining, and he's got him on the potter's wheel, because for the next term, the tone has to change.
I like that. I've never heard anybody quite put it as elegant as you did, Amanda, where and all of us, including myself, and I'm sure you would admit it too, God prunes us. And,
does.
I love that scripture about God pruning us back so that we can have better fruit. And Trump came in like a buffalo and really showed
a bull
us
in a china shop.
and he really shook Washington, D.C. up. He shook politics up because he's not a politician.
No.
I got to ask Eric Trump a question yesterday, which was hope for America. And, how is Trump's energy and how is his morale for this country? And he answered the question unbelievably. Trump is a warrior. He's God's warrior. We're all God's children, no matter our ethnicity, our backgrounds, color of skin, any of that. And it's just really amazing to see so many patriots, 10,000 of us here in Idaho, which, again, Idaho is my home state. And I'm proud to be an Idaho, and I'm proud to be an American. And it's amazing to see so many people come together to fight for this country.
It is. That's what it is. You have to come together in one accord. You have to. Agreement. The enemy doesn't want agreement, because in agreement, the power of God is multiplied. If one can put 1,000 to flight and two can put 10,000 to flight, tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands coming into agreement. That's a powerful weapon, not only in the natural, but in the realm of the spirit.
Now, Amanda, you deal with the realm of the spirit well, a pro.
I try.
Okay, so there are all kinds of people out there, other influencers, critics, whatever you want to call them, that are constantly trying to take Christians, they're constantly trying to take patriots, conservatives, Trump supporters, and place division between us all the time. Like, it's crazy. You hear this person's evil and this person's bad. I mean, even your name has come up in circles, which I don't pay much attention to, because I feel like that is absolutely Satan out there trying to place doubt in Christians' minds and divide us, because if they can divide us, they can conquer us.
Well, that's why you need discernment, because some of these people that do this go so far down the rabbit hole, and it gets so dark down there that they can't tell the difference anymore. Everything looks the same, because they've gone too far down that way instead of towards where the Lord wants them to go. They've gotten sucked into the vacuum of this, and people have to be careful with that. And then what happens is everybody's bad, everybody's this, everybody's that, and nothing then but destruction is coming out of their mouth. They are doing that more than glorifying God. Once that happens, it's a slippery slope.
So what is your advice to my listeners right now? It looks like we got close to 70 people in there. Chat's hopping. We love you guys. What's your advice to people when it comes to discernment and staying out of those deep, dark rabbit holes?
You have to be careful what you look at. You have to be careful what you allow your soul to absorb. So when you read things or when you watch something, you very much be careful, because your eyes will absorb it, your soul will absorb it, your ears will take it forth, and it'll go down into your soul as well. And so you have to walk the fine line of knowing truth, but being able to discern, and you have to ask the Lord for this, and it's something He sharpens you with daily, to understand where the line is, that it's going into an area where too much darkness and light are mixing and making gray and causing confusion, because that's what's happening with some of this.
Yes.
There's too much of that being interjected, and you don't want to find yourself in muddy waters where you can't see, where you cannot see correctly.
You know, the righteous path
Uh-huh.
is very, very narrow.
Yes,
It's
it
not
is.
an interstate. There's not
No.
4 lanes on this righteous path. It's very, very narrow.
Yeah.
There's things to trip over. There's weeds all
Yes.
over the place. And as Christians, as believers, as children of God, we try our best, but we all fall short of the glory of God. We can all ask for forgiveness. We can wake up tomorrow and do better than we did today. And I just appreciate you joining us here at
Thank you.
LWN. So many people just love you and watch you constantly. What a great time to be alive.
Yeah.
What a great time to see the hand of God, not only just across America, but around the world.
Yeah.
So many nations coming to God, and so many nations getting rid of corruption in their government. And my goal here at LWN is to, one, put God first and put God back in this country, and 2 is to unify this nation and to help unify the patriot movement, because it's so strong. You can feel the energy here, folks. I know the noise in the background's getting super loud because people are chatting and having a good time, and there's so much love here. Love.
Yes.
Love for
Like
God.
family,
I see
yes.
people.
Like a family.
I see people laying hands on one another
Yes,
and
that
praying
goes
for
on a
each
lot,
other.
yes.
There's prayer on the stage. There's praise music going on. I mean, you can't get any better than this. This is like a revival, and I absolutely love it. I'm proud to be part of it. So thank you so much,
sir,
Amanda.
So much. Thank you.
All right, there's Amanda Grace, folks. Thanks for joining us, and we'll be back here in just a little while with another guest. Love y'all. God bless.